Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Cover 2 Credits. Today, Stair said we need a video, so I am bringing you a video. Now, Stair stole the camera, so all I got is my phone, so this is going to be a little off the cuff here. Today I'm going to review a Zanzia, well, it's a Zanzia novel. It's online. It's originally written in Chinese. It's translated on Wuxia World, if you've ever read that. As you guys know, I am browsing all over the internet all the time for random stuff to read. And Wuxia World's got a lot of good stuff. But one of my favorite stories on there is Against the Gods. Now, a lot of Zanzia novels are not exactly what I would call classy. They have a ton of tropes. The main characters are always ridiculously overpowered. Women are constantly falling into bed with them. And they pretty much just go around beating up anyone who gets their way and doing whatever they want all the time, regardless of the consequences. And they use plot armor to get out of it. Now, with that said, the story is always somewhat constrained by the fact that you sort of always know what's going to happen, really, before it happens. And there's a lot of really common plot devices that get used in these sorts of stories, if you've ever read them. The basic ones are user, and it's martial arts story, so they cultivate. Guy has crippled meridians and can't cultivate. Guy is engaged to some extremely talented girl who breaks off the engagement early in the novel. Guy is a normal cultivator, ends up finding a random naked girl in the woods who turns out to be some super expert, and she teaches him martial arts forever and makes him super powerful. User stumbles upon some incredible divine artifact in the woods, and through using its powers he becomes super powerful. And what was the other one? I think that's pretty much the main ones. Oh, user's reincarnated from another world and uses his previous knowledge to become super powerful. So, what's that? That's 5? Now, with that said, just to give you a baseline premise for this story, and this isn't a complete review, this is going to be as of chapter 590, although I believe the author is only in like the 600s. So actually the translation is not that far behind the original. But regardless, to preface this entire review, realize that this story uses every single one of the super Zanzia tropes. All of them. All of them. The character is reincarnated, he has a super treasure, he finds a naked girl in the woods, he has crippled meridians, and his fiancée leaves him when the story started. All of them at once. And with that said, you sort of understand how the story's going to go. By chapter like 300, he's already has like 4 or 5 women who are completely devoted to him and who have married him, whom he never really hangs out with or talks to, but for some reason all of them love him forever. But with all of that said, and all of the various problems and ridiculousness that go along with something like that, to me, what makes Zanzia an interesting read is the world setting. Now, almost all of the settings are extremely similar. They're always set in a huge world. They're always all these mystical treasures just laying around on the ground in different places, and all of that. But to me, being able to have an author really go into detail and set up people and places and things and politics and countries and all of these fantastical locations and treasures and fighting and all of it, and bringing it together in one big, interesting sort of package is what really makes or breaks the story. Because like I said, none of these stories, I mean, there are a few really good, like, Zanzian novels that are written well, and they're, much less ridiculous and much more mature in general. I Shall Seal the Heavens is one that has a lot going for it. It's a lot less what I would refer to as adolescent and a lot more profound, although I guess it does have a bird that goes around exploding people's butts all the time. So, it's not super serious, but it is a lot more serious in a lot of these stories. Now, as I was saying, what makes and breaks a good Zanzian novel is the story. And Against the Gods isn't the story, it's the world setting. And Against the Gods has one of the coolest world settings I have seen so far, and the author is really able to bring it to life. And like I said, from using such a ridiculous premise and turning it into something that is actually enjoyable to read, I have to tip my hat to the guy. And like I said, it's not something you're going to feel great about reading afterwards. It is the literary equivalent of a Twinkie. It is great and tasty and greasy and terrible for you, but it is definitely enjoyable. So, if I'm going to give it a rating, I'm going to go with a 7. Like I said, the story really does have a lot going for it, regardless of the overall sort of ridiculousness and overall problems with the story setup. But, as with most of these stories, like I said, the main point of anything is just to enjoy it. And, overall, it is a very enjoyable novel. If you guys have anything you would like me to read in the future, please let me know. I am willing to read absolutely anything, regardless of how good, bad, or ugly it is. If you have any suggestions, let us know in the comments. Please like, please subscribe if you feel like listening to us talk all the time. We'll get the camera back for next time so we got a little better video and audio quality. But, as always, thanks for listening in, and thank you for staying until after the credits.